Welcome to the boat graveyard. The story of how we got here started back in 2008 when we first discovered the sport and lifestyle of sailing. Getting acquainted with boat life on Lake Michigan with a little 24-foot Hunter, we spent every weekend of our short season on the water. After just one summer in this new life, we quickly set our sights on more distant horizons. Upgrading to a 34-foot Sabre named Serendipity, we outfitted for cruising and in 2012 threw off the bow lines to make our way to the Caribbean. Armed with big dreams and open waters, we took the slow and scenic route to warmer climates. Along the way, we made lifelong friends as we explored new towns, cultures, and tropical islands. Stopping in Georgia for Thanksgiving our first year, we picked up a third crew member, Georgie, who is now completely at home on the water and loves the boating lifestyle just as much as we do. Since then, we've weathered rough seas and learned what we and our boat are made of. Spending a season in Guatemala, we set our sights on even more distant horizons, with plans to spend a few seasons in the Mediterranean. Arriving in the Azores in 2014, we enjoyed our very first taste of European culture while resting up before our remaining 1,200 miles to Gibraltar. Only, we never made it that far. High on life and the effects of cheap sangria, Matt stumbled upon a cheap aluminum boat that had the ability to take us to the Arctic, his dream sailing destination. After a lot of hemming and hawing and a lot more sangria, we took the plunge and purchased this new-to-us boat sitting back in Florida, on the other side of the ocean we had just crossed. Changing our plans once more, we pointed the bow of Serendipity west and crossed the Atlantic our second time that year. Arriving at the Indiantown Marina where our new boat had been sitting for the past 8 years, we had our very first look at the boat that we had purchased 9 months earlier, sight unseen and with no survey. We knew from the beginning it would be a complete overhaul, although the task was still quite daunting when we came face to face with it. Diving right in after we'd sold Serendipity, we've spent the past 15 months taking our new boat down to bare bones and building her back up. It's been quite an experience in itself and we're loving the way everything is coming together. With only a few months left in our renovation, we hope you'll join us in our new video series as we finish her up and get her back in the water, ready to start our adventures once more.
Hello, I'm Matt.
And I'm Jessica.
We decided to switch over and start doing a little bit more videos. We found out most people don't read anymore.
Not so much.
Not so much, yep. So the blog and Facebook and stuff been a great avenue for us to kind of get our story out. But we think that videos are the new way of doing things. And
Way of the future.
Way of the future. So we decided we'd give that a shot. And so I guess please follow along as we finish up rebuilding our aluminum boat and set sail to cruise the world again.
Yeah. So enjoy. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to catch you up on what I've been doing inside our boat the past few days. If you've seen our V-berth before, you know it's kind of taken apart right now. We actually had it pretty nice with the frame up, which Matt is out sanding our hatch frame right now and getting it ready to prime. And we decided that while he was doing that, it'd be a good time for me to get the final coat of paint on in here. But what happened is we started out the painting process with the brush and did every surface in the boat with the brush. We primed. I did 1 to 2 coats of regular paint, and then once we decided it was time for the final coat, we might actually want a roller instead of a brush because the brushes, we didn't quite like the end product, how it gave, well, a brush to look, and we wanted to go with a roller and try and get a smoother surface. So I've had to go back now and sand all the surfaces that we've painted already, pretty much down to the primer, and now I get to go back and paint it again with a roller. So that's what I've been doing in here in the past few days, just focusing on the V-berth area right now. I already got the first few coats on there, and I'm just about to do the last coat of roller, so hopefully get that done, get all of our trim back up, and close that room up for good. let's see what we've got Matt doing below deck today. He gets to stand outside in the sweltering heat, even though it's only 10 o'clock in the morning, while I sit inside in the air conditioning and just get to sand and paint. So let's kind of see what projects he's got going on here. All right, Matt, what are you working on today?
Finishing up the sanding of the hatch, and then we're going to try putting a clear epoxy base across all the hatch frames to protect it from condensation and the inevitable rain that we'll get in there because we forget to close the hatch.
Yeah,
then there'll be a couple layers of varnish on top of that, and that's the project for today. And then I'm actually going to cut out some of the aluminum for more welding next week.
You can see where we just had part of the kilo welded yesterday. Got just a couple more spots left. We're ordering some more aluminum to come in, and then as soon as that's done, we can finally get some bottom paint on this thing because it's been waiting for it forever. So, yay to progress. All right, looks like Matt is done sanding our hatch covers, and now we're on to the two-part epoxy, which I can never remember exactly what it does. So Matt, if you want to tell me again what this does for our hatches.
Well, what this is going to do is going to act as the base layer for the varnish. So it fills in all the pores and fills in the grain to make it a flatter surface. So instead of having to do 10 layers of varnish to get it built up to the proper thickness, hopefully we only have to do 3 or 4.
Which will be much nicer for us.
Yeah, much nicer, and it's a better protectant. So when we do forget to close a hatch or we get condensation dripping down, we don't have to worry about these rotting out on us or having any other problems like that. Hopefully the varnish will hold up longer then as well. And it just seems like a good base to put on something like this.
Well, it's looking very nice so far. Let me get a close up here so you can see some of the untouched cherry and after it's going on. And it looks like next to us we have one unfinished hatch. This one with more of a curve. The larger one is the one that goes up in our V-berth, which unless we have that open, and that hatch probably won't be open anyway because if the room is shut off then there's no reason to have that ventilation. But this is one of the other ones here that could either go in the galley or forward salon. And it looks like it has a full coat, so this cherry is looking very nice and can't wait to get a couple coats of varnish on it and get it back inside. We've been having a serious mosquito infestation in the boat the past few days. It's like as soon as the sun goes down, they all just come out and eat us alive. We can't even keep track of how many we kill every day. And these walls right here were just painted yesterday, and I can show you how many we've already trapped just on the walls here. This is the outside, which sometimes we don't get to really paint as much or set out here, but I mean, you're kind of getting the idea of just how many mosquitoes we kill every night, sitting on the walls, little carcasses as reminders for the other. So, we need to get out of here soon. So we've decided to do a little change of plans in our sanding and varnishing process. Yesterday when we were going through and putting the first coat of varnish on the areas that had already gotten the two-part epoxy, we kind of noticed how nice it looked, how everything was filled in, all of the pores and, what is it called? Not necessarily pores, but
Grain.
the grain was filled in. And in a different area, that was going to be the forward part of our settee, we just did our normal mix of varnish with a little bit, what can I think right now? I'm getting stumped.
Alright.
We did our normal mix of varnish with just a splash of mineral spirits, and then usually we kind of like build it up.
Off 50% mineral spirits.
50% mineral spirits, 50% varnish, next coat, 75% varnish, 25% mineral spirits, and from then on we do full-on varnish. But if you take a look at just one coat of epoxy and one coat of varnish yesterday, you can kind of see how nice it's all turning out. So we decided now for pretty much everything else that we're starting fresh with varnish, we're going to do
There you go.
the same thing with the two-part epoxy. So this is our frame
Their new neighbor.
that's going to go around. Say hi to Jerry, new neighbor.
Oh, hi!
Hi! He's our aluminum boat neighbor in the workyard.
Yeah.
Just got here a few days.
Much nicer one, but
So Matt has
yeah, all of them are.
parts of what's going to be the frame for a bulkhead, and we're going to go ahead and instead of doing a mix of varnish and mineral spirits for those, we're going to go right ahead and do a two-part epoxy into varnish. Thank you for joining us on our first episode on YouTube, where we work on endless projects on the boat, and of course they'll be continuing way into the future. It's just that none of it ever ends in a 1 week, 2 week, month even period. So just keep watching and stay tuned for the next episode where we prepare for Hurricane Matthew and go through that and start on the floors of our boat. So thanks for joining along, and if you'd like to, you can always support us on Patreon. Until next time.